I escaped one of the many heat waves by heading to the north of Germany, and I met a part of my crew for a tech scout, all of whom I never met before personally. Apart from the scout, I spent a few quiet hours in the countryside. I started my day with breakfast in Salman Rushdie's Life, but I abandoned the book before I could finish it. Part of that decision was the 4 pages describing a catheter insertion. So instead of killing time reading, I found a tiny, cold, and beautiful lake close to the hotel before heading back home. July was all about preparation for the upcoming advertising campaign at the end of the month. But I did spend one day with my good friends Julie, Basti, and Adrien, among others, shooting the stunning Françoise for our old pals at Nuuna Notebooks in Frankfurt.
Sehr schön.
Somewhere in the back of my head, I always knew that I had to spend quite some time away from home later this month. So I picked up Kay from daycare early and went on a short camping trip, not far from our home. I'm deeply convinced that memories don't need distance or exotic places, just undivided attention and curiosity. And I often ask myself, how can we grasp the world, even just in fragments, if there is so much to see and smell and feel just outside our doorsteps? I admire and envy my kids so much for experiencing all those first-time sensations. Sporadic time at the studio, mostly after sunset, to escape the heat again. I'm working on a set of bookmarks for the shop. The days feel long, sometimes endless. I'm a lot better in spring and fall, but we managed to spend some quality time with friends and family. I finally read Christian Kracht's Vaterland, a novel so infamous and iconic and a perfect representation of a feeling of nostalgia that I thought to be lost for a long time. It wasn't necessarily Vaterland's story. So a rich man travels from Sylt to Zurich, hates everybody, everything and himself. It was more the kind of intellectuality, the description of landscapes, people, and the 90s that evoked this feeling of familiarity and nostalgia that was slumbering within me. But probably it's the longing for simpler times. And then the moment came to pack gear and clothes for northern Germany, where I'm spending a full week of travel and production days with some of my closest friends in the industry. For this campaign, I'm working full hybrid, which I do a lot these days. Hybrid means that I'm directing, working the Ronin and shooting stills, backed by a full crew of camera, light, art department and production. Lately, this has become my favorite mode of working and an endless source of curiosity and inspiration to optimize my workflow. But first, I was stuck in traffic, and it took me 9 hours instead of 6 to reach my destination. As I neared my destination, I was greeted by a sunset that made me forget all the troubles with traffic. I was the first to arrive at the Congress Hotel in the middle of nowhere, where we were going to spend the next 8 nights together as a crew. All of them were scheduled to arrive the next day, so I had the very 70s but charming and photogenic hotel all by myself. I haven't watched Backrooms yet, but I imagined all the film's locations to feel close to what I felt being alone there the first night. The cork crew arrived the next morning. It was so nice to see the newest addition to my absolute go-to and favorite people in the world again. His name is Tiger, he likes good music, and he's responsible for enduring my constant need to keep my lens wide open while battling the Ronin's severe delay and being an overall good guy. And of course I was really happy to be reunited with Martin and JP. Being with these guys is just guaranteed to have a good time on set. Our location was a remote rehabilitation clinic with a building wing that was about to be renovated and an active part that was modern and new. That gave us plenty of space and empty rooms for building realistic sets. The days on set were smooth and such a delight, thanks to the hardworking and super dedicated crew. And the evenings belong to that special feeling you only get when it's summer, when the nights are tropical and you're surrounded by people you trust and love. The week went by so quickly, and this job again was a great example of what I love so much about the industry. It's the passion, it's the hard work and the camaraderie of the people you spend such intense time with on and off set. And sometimes, rarely, but strongly building friendships for life in some cases. After 6 intense shooting days, it was time to call it a wrap and say goodbye, with some tears in the corner of my eyes.